What's going on, YouTube? Today we're going to be looking at one of the most basic things in inline skating, and that is how to control your speed and how to stop. Everyone should have many different ways of controlling their speed and many different ways of stopping. So the first section we're going to talk about is controlling speed. Controlling speed is the most important thing to do when you're on inline skates, because without control, you can't stop. I don't care how advanced you are. If you're booking it down a hill and you're going basically top speed on your skates, you could be the best skater out there and you're not gonna be able to stop. Just the sheer physics of what we're rolling on and the ground that we're rolling on, you're not gonna be able to make such a tight turn to stop and expect to stay up. Momentum, physics, you're just not gonna be able to overcome it. Always, always, always control your speed. And here's a few ways of how to control your speed. So the first way to control your speed is something that I like to call the J turn, or also linked turns. This is a great way to control speed when you're on a large hill or a wide hill. And that is because you need the space in order to make these large J turns or large link turns all the way down the hill. So you'll notice on the J turns or those link turns, I'm really carving all the way through. So I'm doing like a full U turn. I'm basically drawing a J with my skates. You really want to get on edge through those turns and push that downhill skate, because that push is really going to get you to make that turn sharp. Another great tip for this is to make sure your feet are spread apart. The wider you spread your feet, the more stable you're going to be, and really get into that predator kind of tucked position, because you're going to be more stable and be able to push through these turns and carves better. The second way of controlling your speed is called the pizza or the wedge. I talked about this a lot in different videos, but if you haven't heard it, then here's a good place to start. Like if you're going down narrow paths and it's downhill, it's a great time to use the pizza or the wedge. That is because if you don't have the space to make full turns, you gotta keep your speed down by doing the wedge or the pizza. For the pizza or wedge, you really want to make sure that you're thinking of making a pizza or a wedge shape with your feet, pointing those toes together. You're going to want to roll that top of that foot over to the outside and push out as you're pointing your toes in. So you're pointing your toes in, but you're rolling your foot over and you're pushing those wheels out, the outside of your foot pushing out. And what that's gonna do, your foot's gonna naturally go forward, and all you gotta do each time it goes a little too close forward, just re-step out again and just keep that. So just keep rocking. You'll notice what I'm doing is I'm kind of stepping left and right, step, step, step. But each time I'm stepping, I'm still pushing and scrubbing off speed to the outside of those feet, but keeping the toes pointed in. Another one that's great for narrow spaces is called the T-stop or the wheel drag, or whatever you want to call it. This one I don't like as much, just because I don't feel like it doesn't work quite as well. The dragging, the pressure on your back skate is better or worse on different surfaces, but it is a really good one for beginners. So I would say you should start here, but quickly advance to start doing other techniques. So the wheel drag or T-stop, what all I'm doing is just transferring all my weight to one foot. The other foot's gonna drop back behind you, and you're gonna basically want to make a T. So put that skate 90 degrees behind your front skate, so it's like a T, and lay it flat. And the more that you push down on that back foot, you're going to lose speed faster the more you push down on that back foot. You almost want to get into a lunge position when you do the T-stop, because it's going to get you into a more stable stance, and that way you can push, get that angle down on that back foot and really push down on those back wheels. And in the worst case scenario, you can always do the side step. And the side step is just like it sounds. You're just sidestepping down the hill, going sideways. This is really great if you're just in a situation where it's just too steep of a hill, or it's too narrow, or it's really steep and just ends straight into a street. There's just no way that you could start rolling and then control your speed again and stop before you need to. When you're doing a sidestep, it's just like it sounds. All you're doing is just sidestepping down a hill. In this example that I'm showing you right now, it's flat, but it's the same concept. You're just going sidestepping straight down the hill, one foot after the other. Once one foot's planted, take off to the other one. Do it at the speed that you want, that you feel comfortable with. So the next section we're talking about is stopping. The first one is the wheel or foot drag, or if you have it, a skate brake drag. Both somewhat effective for stopping. These aren't really going to stop you unless you're doing really slow speeds already, so don't count on them if you're going fast to stop you anytime soon. The J-turn is a great way to stop. And what this is just like we did before, it's just a J-turn. You're just completing that turn, so you're turning back uphill and then stopping. The spin stop, this is another intermediate stopping maneuver. It's when you get your feet not parallel, but pointing out from each other as you turn, and you just do a spin, kind of like an ice skating maneuver as you come into a stop. This one is a little more advanced of a stop. You're basically just you're starting to go into a turn, and as you go into that turn, your back foot, which will become your back foot, your upper heel foot on the turn is going to open up, and your heels are going to come together, and you're just going to try to roll around that turn with your heels together and your skates in one line. And what that's going to do is just put you into a spin in one place instead of using that momentum and going out too far somewhere or down the hill. This one is more advanced. It's something that you need to practice. I'm not even that great at it. It's funny because my wife is actually the best person I've ever seen at doing this stop. It's a really good stop. You don't want to go into it too fast because the momentum will tip you over as you're spinning, and then you'll be all out of whack. But yeah, it's a good one to practice and just have in the bag. And my favorite, I call it the chop stop, which is basically throwing your feet sideways and running it parallel until you have no more speed left and you're just standing. The chop stop, I'm gonna put my feet sideways to the hill, and as I do that, I'm stepping that foot, the upper heel foot first, and I'm just gonna touch the ground really quick and go to the next foot. Touch the ground really quick, go to the next foot. So it's quickly scrubbing off that speed by jumping down, like kind of stepping sideways down the hill. You don't want to go into this too fast. I do this all the time at the skate park. Yeah, the chop stop on different degrees is huge for me to stop. And the last one for stopping is the most advanced one, and that's called the power stop. This is the most advanced because even if you're good at it and can do it, it's unpredictable. I wouldn't use it to save your life to stop. It can stop you from going fast very quickly, but you have to it's a very technical maneuver, and you have to know what you're doing, know the surface that you're sliding on. There's just lots and lots of parts to this that make it quite challenging. So I would save this as more of a trick stop as you get better at skating. As you can see, I'm not great at this power stop, but all you're gonna wanna do is as you come into this, the downhill foot, you're letting that slide out, you're pushing it in front of you, kind of a reverse T-stop, and I'm letting that back foot face uphill behind me, and just push and slide on that front foot as you're rolling with your back foot. So it's kind of a reverse T stop. Whenever you're at the top of a hill, you're always looking for a way out. Always, always, always have a way out. I can't tell you how many times I've started going down a hill and just thought, you know, oh, I'm good, and I didn't have a way out or a backup way out, and got screwed and just had to throw myself sideways or else I would have got hurt even more. So just always have a way out. Any circumstance on the inline skate, just always be looking for your safety way out. Another bonus tip when you're going down hills, always control your speed all the way down the hill until you feel like you're confident enough with the rest of the hill that you can open up and just cruise out without too much speed. Never open up too early on a hill, because if you do, you might start going too fast, and then once you're too fast, you can't control that speed, and your feet will get away from you, and it's just disastrous. A really common sense one is always call out the people that are in front of you, just to make sure that they know that you're coming. That way they're not an obstacle anymore. Usually they'll get out of the way, and so it's not an issue for you and throw you off from what you're doing. Just let people know as you start a hill that you're coming. If you find yourself out of control and there's just no way to stop but throwing yourself sideways, the best thing to do is to look for something soft, obviously. Usually where you're skating on paths or something, or on sidewalks, there's usually grass beside you or some kind of bark dust or dirt, whatever. Always, always, always throw yourself into that before you throw yourself on concrete, obviously. But before you do that, something good to practice is to roll off into the grass. And this is a small technique, not too hard to learn. It is variable because all different grass types have different densities and bumps underneath and stuff like that. So, you know, kind of tread at your own will. But the way I do that is I'm just getting in my predator position, and I'm just going to scissor my feet, and both my feet, I'm just gonna loosen up or let the weight off the toes and put them all on the heels, both heels. So as I go off onto the grass, I'm not getting caught or bogged down with my toe and then falling forward. And instead, I'm just letting it kind of slow me down, almost like a boat in water. And the last tip, there's no shame in sidestepping down a hill. I mean, if it's just too much for you, you start it and you're like, I need to stop and just sidestep this hill. There's no shame in sidestepping a hill or using the railing going down somewhere. I mean, it's always better to just be safe than sorry. I hope you guys enjoyed this look at learning how to control your speed and stop. If I missed anything, please leave a comment below, because I would be happy to go into more detail on any of these topics. Some of these I kind of breezed over, and it's just the lack of time I have to make this video. So happy to explain this in the comments below, or happy to shoot you another video, just a quick example shot to explain something for you better. So just let me know in the comments. Happy to help. If you liked it though, please thumbs up. Like I said, leave me a comment and subscribe. And if you haven't already, ring that bell. And until next time, guys, just keep rolling.